The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Yo, yo, yo. What up, everyone?
Hello,
SerpSpace.
people. SerpSpacers.
Roman
Does everyone
is
have
late tonight, so he asked if we could take the reins, and I said, why the hell not? I like doing these things. So, what up, Jeff? How you been doing, man? Let's rank some shit, Chi-Chi.
the question is it a profitable week? Who's having a profitable week? Let's hear it. I know some of you are. You can't all be sitting there doing nothing. I don't believe you. Yeah, exactly. That's how. Let's just make sure everyone has a more profitable week next week and
How about
another
2019?
profitable week the week after. So people say not profitable enough. So yeah, let's make it profitable enough and continue to let it soar.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? I mean, we still got a bunch of people roll in. What are you guys doing? Are you doing agency, PPL? Those are my two main things. So, agency, PPL. Building a mini net today.
I got back into the dark arts of locksmithing again, unfortunately.
That's a badass logo, though.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Did you switch
I've
it
been
up?
looking for a brick and mortar to buy. I've been talking about it with Mike a lot lately. So, I think I might do that.
You want
It's
to
just
tell us
easy
what
enough
you
to, why make other people rich? You know, that's the next step.
That's right.
That's right, Tim. It's never profitable enough. Too much is never enough.
100%, Tim. Never profitable enough. You can't have enough because you never know
Yeah.
when your wife's going to say, look, I'm leaving you.
Well, that could be any day for you, but
Yeah, well, that's just my problem.
yeah, it's and hers, unfortunately. But
Yeah, definitely. So people are still rolling in. We're waiting, and we don't want to get started until we got as many people in here as we can. So I think everyone is going to want to get a piece of what's going on.
I got a preview of what Jordan, aka the Underground King, aka the People's Champ, is going to show tonight, and it's pretty badass. So we're not stringing it along. We've just got literally, it's been like 20 people in the last minute hop on. So
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't break it this time and only allow so many people in, so we didn't just lock everybody out.
yeah, we broke 20 this time, people on the webinar. So
Yeah, it was actually finally got 15 for the first time.
it's good, as long as it's a good 15. If it were the people, only the people we had in here now, I'd be good with it. As long as they're here.
So what this week with news, anything freak you out or anything make you go, oh, that's a great idea? Anyone have any epiphanies this week? Because I like epiphanies. Chi-Chi, did you have an epiphany? Because your name's Chi-Chi, and it's an epiphany name.
I like innovation and ahas. Let's see them.
Yeah.
A lot of mini-net talk. SerpX.
Mininet, what's that?
Yeah. Anyone use SerpX in here by chance? I know some people have for sure. SerpX user. SerpX addict. All the familiar names are using it. Some non-familiar names are not. So we might have to do another webinar on that too. Are we covering SerpX at all tonight?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to do a special one at some point in the near future then. A lot of people are though, so that's good. It's one of the most powerful SEO tools and the cheapest. So
Actually, I want to find out how many of you guys are doing local lead gen, just to get an idea.
I had a few PPLs earlier.
Okay.
Say yes or no, please. Trying. I was trying for a while.
Why'd you stop?
Yeah, that's a good question because that'll help you get started again, and other people get started for the first time or start again too.
Setting up now, awesome. It's a fucking great way to get a recurring, hands-off revenue going, or you keep it hands-on and keep building it. So
I just like that it's on autopilot.
yeah, once you have it set up, you just let it sit there. We know someone making $10,000 a month right now, and he hasn't done anything new in months, literally. Like, it's crazy. So he's doing pretty good.
Let's see.
Doing pay-per-call until Google Service Ads took the spots.
Can everyone see my screen, first of all? Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think we're good to start now,
yeah,
guys.
Level down a little bit, so I'm sure we'll still have some people come in and say I missed the first 20 minutes.
A little bit, but their problem.
Yeah.
Prompt.
All right.
Let's do it, Jordan. What we got?
Oh, look at that.
There's a beautiful man.
How many of you guys know who I am? Or have heard of me? Or
if not, say new webinar, who dis?
That's all. Yeah, that's what we need to know. New webinar, who dis?
Jordan who?
Say, I don't know who you are, fool.
So just a quick summary, a little bit about myself. Been in local SEO for a little over 11 years now. I currently manage over 500 Google My Business listings. And then recently this year, we launched GMB Master Academy in April of this year, and we have recently added a few more courses in there. Part of it is lead gen, and that's just a little summary about me.
A little bit
pretty
more
modest.
about it. Jordan's been somebody I've been able to work with for probably 10 years now, and I've seen him go from memos on Google's desk saying, you know what, watch out for this guy, to being a trusted advisor for Google. So, you know, they've always thought of him as a badass, and that badass opinion has been like, oh, we're going to keep him away, and oh, we're going to bring him into the family, and at this point he's brought into the family, and I've always had a great time with Jordan, because he's always cared about everyone we work with, except for Brad. He doesn't care about Brad.
No one does.
Sometimes. So, what are we going to be going over tonight? So the biggest thing that has been coming up lately is really about GMB placement. So if you guys are doing local lead gen, some of you may know that verifying Google My Business listings is huge in getting a lot of calls.
Guys, what's the number way to get local calls ever?
I'll also say, what's some of the best traffic you can get for local businesses and lead generation campaigns, call campaigns? So
Maps,
we got
baby.
some.
That's it.
Yep, maps, baby.
So some of you may know about me. I've been doing maps for a long time. This is my primary focus. This is all I do. I haven't built a site in probably a couple months because my biggest thing is I want to get traffic. I want to get calls coming from my listings. One of the biggest problems that I see that people have when starting out is really trying to have a strategy on how to place your listings. So
let's get some input from people. Let's get some input on what they think about what they should be doing for strategy.
And do you have a strategy too? Like, if you don't have one, just say I don't have one. I just throw shit at the wall.
If you're building maps for a client, you're building maps for lead generation, what's your strategy for placement of those pins?
It could even be for a business that wants to add a secondary location. Like, how can you give advice on where to add that second location?
Freaking GMB city posts, no strategy, areas they want. We always like areas people want. We're talking about verified listings. Whether it doesn't matter if it's postcards. We're just talking about verified listings. How do you build your strategy?
Where to drop them?
You got a dentist that does, or they say you got a cosmetic surgeon and they want more business, and they're looking to expand into a few more cities. And
yeah, say they're in Chicago, but they want to cover like the rich areas around Chicago too. You know, how would you pick those? You seen any good answers, Jordan?
Oh, you guys have to read them off.
Oh, you can bring it up.
Crime maps, press releases, place them in residential areas, question mark. Lots happens in the one area,
city
away from the competition.
Search volume, zip codes, 20-mile
City
radius.
central.
Yeah. You hear anything good or close to the right answer, Jordan? Or your process, I guess, not right or wrong?
Some of them are somewhat close. So here's the thing. When we're looking at GMBs, one of the very first things that I look at is I want to look at census data. And what I mean by census data is I'm looking at things like population. I'm looking at things like household incomes, because I don't want to go to a city that maybe only has 10,000 population when I can hit another city that has 150,000 people.
But shouldn't that be easier competition, Jordan?
Sure, it'll be easier, but I want call volume. I'm not looking for 1 or 2 calls a week. I want call volume.
You were supposed to say F the competition, or what competition?
Always. No fucks given. Have to say it.
So
you're looking for call.
This is the most important thing, because when you're looking at strategies from where you want to place them, you don't want to go into, maybe it just depends on the product. Like for me, for locksmith, I always went after areas that had high dense residential neighborhoods, as opposed to doing like downtown in the city. More people are going to call from their homes that want me to come out and rekey their house or change their locks than someone who's calling from downtown, like of the major city. So those are a lot of things you have to really understand: the products and services, what type of business you're going after. Plumbing companies, they're going after residential areas. They're not going to, usually they're not going like downtown Dallas to do a plumbing job unless it's a business job. So those are a lot of the things that you have to look at when doing your placement.
And also, Jordan mentioned household income. There's the top levels that you might get. There's the mid levels, and then there's the lower level. Can anyone think of maybe a lower level, lower income that you might target? Like what's the best lower income? Like what can I target to get those? Yep, exactly. Alan. Have you ever worked in that industry, Alan?
Anything subprime.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to be anything particular. Subprime computers at one point.
Yeah.
You get creative when you're doing PPL. Get creative, get away from competition, and get away into higher volume and higher revenue.
Yep, absolutely. So next thing is market research. So when I was living in Kansas City, this is how I would look at a map to really determine, where I'm going to be placing my listings. So if we look at Kansas City, there's really about 5 major points of this metro. One is going to be kind of more up north, which would be kind of in the Gladstone area, or like North Kansas City. This is actually downtown Kansas City. Kansas City actually covers Kansas City, Kansas, and also Kansas City, Missouri. The population of downtown is about 1 million people. Yeah, so, and even if you see a lot of like this area right here, it's an extremely poor area. So, with market, there is going to be some, I don't know how to nicely put this, but you're probably not going to want to target areas where the household income is only like 20,000, because
depending on your market, yes.
Yeah, on your market. So it's really about placement. Not only that, if you look at these 5 major points, so I got Olathe, Overland Park, Kansas City, Independence, Lee Summit. You look at it, it's kind of in a triangle, but they're not right next to each other. They're about a city apart.
Is there a reason for that, Jordan?
There is, and I'll show that in the next slide.
Okay, perfect.
I can't wait.
Guys, if you're not in call sales right now and you're just doing agency stuff, you have a whole user base in your clients to potentially upsell and sell additional business to those people with what Jordan's talking about right now. So pay close attention.
So when I talk about double placement, what I mean is we can get to a point where if we place our listing in a certain area, we can actually cover bordering cities. One of the biggest problems right now is proximity when trying to rank your listings. There's only about a 10-mile radius that you can actually cover to actually have ranking within that 10 miles. So if we look at, this is a metro in Denver, so this is a listing that's Thornton Western Locksmith. It's actually located in Thornton, Colorado, which is right here. And we're also covering Westminster, but we're covering everything within this area. The good thing is, though, is the 10-mile radius is actually they're actually able to expand that out because we can actually hit neighboring cities as well. So this is kind of a little trick what we can do with some of our business names to actually be able to expand that mile radius. Because this Westminster is still about another city apart as opposed to being right next door. So this is extremely important because how you choose your business names, how close you get to a neighboring bordering city. So if you target Thornton and Westminster, let's say they're neighboring cities, you're going to be able to get, high ranking placement because those are two cities right next to each other. Does that make sense?
Is everyone taking this goal?
A good question for them to take, and maybe a learning opportunity, is why does that work, and why is a centroid different now than it has been in the past? And see if anybody can answer that question. What's the difference about a centroid these days? Do you know what a centroid is? Centroid is basically the center of a city, the center of something that they have data on, right? So there was a time where the closer to the centroid of the city was a really big factor, and you wanted to be right there, city center. And do you know why that has changed? What have you seen happen over the last year and a half that's changed that?
I'll give you a hint. It has something to do in March.
There you go, Don. There you go, Bob. And there you go.
What happened in March this year?
Whole lot of basketball games.
What happened to the index? Yeah, there we go. We got more answers coming now.
Okay.
Yep. Mobile.
So one other question I have for you guys. How many of you still think it's IP based?
A lot of yeses.
So people still think it's IP. So when mobile first came out, their main purpose was to target GPS placement of where users were. So when people are searching on a mobile phone, the way that proximity works is not taking the IP of their phone, it's taking the GPS location of their phone.
Brendan, what happened was the mobile first index rolled out in mass. So they're putting mobile first. So the centroid now potentially is the search of the mobile user instead of the center of the city. Okay, so you can kind of look at a device as that now. Very quick explanation. And it's important to understand if you're doing local or you're doing PPL or anything. It's very important. You're welcome.
So moving into within the last, let's say, year and a half, Google has really made a ton of changes with their business listing profiles. This year alone, they've had over 35 GMB updates. I don't know if you guys have noticed that they seem to be updating their algorithms like every week. The reason for that is because they are adding more features such as posts, menus. You can actually list your services, descriptions. You can even add products and menus, and they're even bringing back a social platform where Android users can actually follow a listing, meaning that you can see when the business owners are writing posts, and you can also include hashtags in reviews.
Wow, that's pretty huge.
So the reason why they're doing this is because they want users to spend more time on GMB profiles. They want them to be able to get as much information as they can rather than having to click through their website.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, brother.
So the reason, let me ask you, why do you think this is the case? Why do you think they made this change?
Because of you.
That's probably.
I blame pretty much everything on Jordan with GMB.
They want GMB to become your little black book. G Plus was shit. I love that.
Yep.
That's true.
Ad revenue. They want all the ad revenue. They're doing a lot of other things to steal money from small businesses as well. Let's call it what it is. Let's not call it ad revenue. Let's call it theft.
So moving forward, this is extremely important. Does anyone see kind of on the bottom right-hand side when I say GMB listing, you need to consider your listing as your money site moving forward, always. This means that when you create your listings, they need to be filled out 100%. I want to see every single product and service updated in your listings.
Take the time, because it's worth it.
Google gets to play purge on the internet. They always have. They've been purging our freaking real estate for decades.
We just rebuild.
That's right. So those of you that have been with us for a little while, how many of you know what TLC or Triple T stand for?
TLC was a group in the 90s.
Yeah, don't go chasing waterfalls. I don't want no scrubs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trust, traffic, and theme is Triple T. What's TLC?
Tender loving.
Think along the same lines. They're the same thing. They just two people said them at different times. I said it one time, and Jordan said the other thing. Traffic, links, and content.
Okay. What is Triple T?
They said trust, traffic, and theme.
Okay. So this is my whole ranking method is traffic, links, and content. So one of the most important things that you can do for your brand and for your Google My Business listing is to build your brand and your entity.
Does everyone understand what we mean by an entity when we say a brand and entity? How about this? Who doesn't know what we mean by saying entity? This is not an NFG webinar. Okay, thank you for saying not sure. Because we want you to understand this because it's absolutely important. We've been talking about this for 2 to 3 years, and lately you'll see a lot of copycats coming out teaching the same stuff, and because it's extremely important, and they need to get it out there. Everyone needs to get this out to people that they want to know, that they want to make sure they understand how to rank, and entities are extremely important.
And it's a big part of Medic as well.
Exactly. It's a huge part of. Who read the Quality Raters handbook for the newest one?
I can't read.
I know. Did anyone in the crowd read that? The Quality Raters guidelines? If not, I suggest you go out, do a search, find it. You're all SEOs. You should be able to find it. Does anyone? Okay, Kyle, do you remember what they talked about when it came to creators? What do they say about creators? What do they tell their employees to look for? So they told their employees to look for the reputation of the person that created the content. And they did not say the website. So what does that mean? Yeah, they're trying. Yeah, it's not authorship, but they always are essentially trying to be able to dictate the authority and trust of a website versus the authority and trust of content. And they can do that by having a rank for what they call creator rank, the person who created the content versus the website itself. Because the person who created the content, it might just be user-generated content, and when you start looking at different filters and things like that, you start to understand that if certain people create content, it's not as valued as other people. So they did some updates back in August, the core update, medic people call it, that have to do with that, along with some other stuff. But David actually came out and said an entity is something that has a distinguishable, findable identity. This could be a unified set of structures as active link networks. An entity essentially is a thing. A brand is an entity. A city is an entity. Brad Mabry's an entity. He shouldn't be, but he is.
Not a very big one, but an entity nonetheless.
But he is. And the last major update, the core update, they actually established ways for people to create and make entities stronger. So it's very important to pay attention to that and understand it no matter what kind of SEO you're doing. So everyone understands what an entity is, right? Good.
Cool.
Looks like it.
So one of the best ways to build your brand, for your local brand, I should say, is by building citations. They play a major role in your local SEO, primarily with ranking on Google Maps. So they tell Google what your brand is about, where it's located, and important content information. By using citations, you're telling Google what your entity does, where it's located, and who you are. And there are several different types of citations. I guess, well, you guys can read what it says on here, but I'll go through it here real quick. This is the next generation of citations. This is how we build into 2019. It's about relevance, which is theme, and high quality, which is trust, citations. Any type of general citation, this would be things like Judy's book, Yelp, Yellow Pages. I would consider those to be high quality directories. And then the next type is going to be niche or category type of citations, and also geo-relevant directories. So what do I mean by that? So if you're a plumber, you want to go on plumbingdirectory.com. If you're trying to target and rank for Dallas, Texas, then you're going to want to find some type of business directory that targets Dallas businesses. The next type is going to be news, or some of you may know these as press releases. And the last one, probably most of you aren't going to know what this is. It's something that we have developed. It's a hybrid. And what this is, it's relevant content that has all of your business information.
A hybrid citation is, make sure you understand that. The hybrid citation is, some of them I call validated entities or validated links, and these things are other sites that have GMB listings that publish your information, your logo, your content, your link, your URL. This can be, say you're working in SerpSpace, and you're doing roofing. This could be someone who does flooring. This could be someone who does windows. It could be anybody that's related to your overall theme. Your overall theme is established by your relevancy, but that's generally an easy way to think about your overall theme as your market, your top level market.
All right, so I just want to introduce you guys to SerpSpace. Mike, do you want to talk about SerpSpace a little bit and kind of what it is, and maybe some people haven't heard of it?
Trying to get SerpSpace to put together some local packages for quite a while, because I needed a place for my techs to just go in and be able to do the local campaigns very quickly. Brad and I have been looking for this for quite some time. So we were able to kind of connect them with Jordan, and Jordan was able to go in there and help them train some staff and put together some packages that that Brad and I get to use to just say, hey, when you get this type of campaign, go order this. You get this campaign, go order that. because guess what? I don't like doing my own SEO, and I don't like wasting all that time. There's too much to do in a day. We want to be working on our PPL. We use it for our PPL campaigns as well because it saves us time.
Yeah,
So
if I can get a map, a Google map up, in whatever niche I'm going after for the PPL campaign, and then I can go and order, a bronze, silver, gold, whatever the hell one I need. Then it makes my life a lot easier. I can budget. I can continuously go, all right, this month we're going to put this much budget into this. Then we're going to get 10 more maps next month, and we're going to do this. That's how you start to build the empire on virtual autopilot, essentially. I mean, if you want to hire a manager, it can be 100% autopilot, but it makes it as easy as possible so you can get as much done as possible.
Does that make sense? So essentially, we're trying to not have to do anything except generate our phone call.
Yeah.
Our phone call. And that includes registering and creating GMB listings as well.
So the packages that was released on SerpSpace, we have 3 major packages. So we have bronze, silver, gold. What the bronze package is, this is typically for small to mid cities, typically would be lower competition. And when I mean lower competition, it's usually about between 1 to 2 pages of map listing results.
Did you catch that? It's kind of a pro tip. I don't know how you guys judge.
Yeah, can you go into that a little bit? Because we got a lot of questions on that. What does the 4-page map listings mean?
So when
blah blah blah. Yeah.
Anytime I have a listing that I'm placing, or if I'm working with the client, the way that I judge how competitive an area is based upon. I mean, there's some other things, but the main thing is how many actual map listing results there are.
So how much competition is out there?
Exactly.
In the maps.
So the way that I judge that is based upon how many pages of results there are, or how many map listings are showing. And I'm not talking about in the 3-pack. I'm talking actual, like, clicking through 1 page, 2nd page, 3rd page. And the way that I do that is I always judge it based upon the first 2 pages. What's including in the bronze package is we give you about 50 branded properties, and branded properties would be your citations. They're going to be general directories like Yellow Pages or Yelp, relevant, and niche relevant as well. Jumping into the silver package, this is typically like mid to large cities, which is usually like mid to large competition size. And that's going to be about 2 to 4 pages. So if we look at let me jump back up here to Kansas City. The way that I would personally judge it, knowing how Kansas City market is and knowing how many listings are there, I would consider Overland Park to be about a mid-market.
So Overland Park is silver?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
So I would build a silver package there.
Okay.
Something like Kansas City is going to be into the gold package because it's highly populated. I know that since it's the major city, there's going to be a lot of listings there. And typically...
So do you understand the analysis of competition in Google My Business or Google Maps? Does that make it clear?
Yeah, that makes it easy for me, to be honest.
Because whether you are going to buy services or not, that's something that you want to know how to determine if you're quoting clients or looking to build some PPL. Yeah. I just want to make sure everyone understands it.
And we had a few questions come in. Do we need to worry about duplicate citations?
No, they all come with a complimentary audit, actually.
Yeah, so they're all going to come with an audit. So we'll be able to run, we'll basically be able to see what you currently have and then build on top of that.
Can you explain a hybrid citation again real quick, Jordan?
So, yeah, a hybrid citation is going to be relevant content that has your NAP information. So it's going to be very similar to kind of how a press release is done, where you have like maybe a 1,000-word article. It's not necessarily going to be that long, but it's going to be content, and right at the bottom of the article,
it could be a
it's
video.
going to have.
It could be.
Well, you're breaking up a little bit, Mike.
You there?
Yep.
Oh, I'm saying it's basically what it comes down to. It's a relevant page on a domain that has traffic, that has your business information and other aspects like your logo and things like that. So you're getting triple T and TLC along with your geographic relevance from that, and then also niche relevance or geographic relevance from the page that it's being placed on. They're actually existing pages essentially that are having your business information put onto it. So that can be a link trade with somebody else, or that can just be somebody that you pay to have it placed on if you're doing it yourself. Anything that's already in the index has traffic, has trust, and relevance is something that you could use for a hybrid citation.
Yep. Any questions about how to, I guess I should say, any questions about the packages, how we set those up, anything like that?
There's a few coming in, Jordan. What about updating / cleaning up citations that you don't have logins to?
Those that we can actually reach out to the publishers to get those cleaned up when we do a submission, so that way there's not a double in there.
Gotcha.
And you'll get new logins at that point.
Could we drop Yext and not worry about a fall off?
Are we able to do what?
I'm not. I guess I don't understand what the question's asking. Could we drop Yext and not worry about a fall? Oh, could we stop using Yext and not worry about their listings dropping? I think is the question.
Yeah. So the good thing is with Yext, because they have direct API access, is once you quit paying them, then a lot of those pages either get 404'd and you end up losing those. So those get de-indexed.
Yeah, I think what they're talking about is, could they buy the silver, gold package, whatever, and stop using Yext?
Yes.
You could, yes. And you're not going to lose rankings.
Yeah, so that's kind of the tricky thing, is Yext kind of, they kind of grab you by the horns and say, like, pay us or you're going to lose everything. Usually when that happens, I've seen a lot of those still show up online, but it may come to a point where go ahead and keep them up there, and you may want to just, so the way that we run the audits, we'll check with the CO what you're currently listed on, and we'll just add additional directories that you're not published in. The most important thing, though, when building your citations, though, really is going to be the relevant ones. So it's going to be the geo ones and the niche relevant.
There's nothing that I've seen that pushes better than the geo-relevant, the hybrid.
And Yext only builds the more general directories. They don't build any niche or geo-relevant ones.
Is it bad to go GMBs within less than a 10-mile radius, or do you do other cities if we are using the same brand / website?
So they give you, it kind of depends on how you set them up. If you're using the same brand, I wouldn't do a neighboring city. I would probably do at least one city over. So you're just going to have to kind of look on the map in your area and see how that looks. But I wouldn't put two listings right next to each other.
Gotcha. Do you have, do we have to write anything, or do you have a team of writers?
So we can, as far as the descriptions, we can so that's actually a good point. So each description that we write is unique content when we create the citation. So we can do that, or if you want to give us a brief description when you buy the package, then we can take that content and make it unique for each directory.
NAP plus URL on a niche edit ? That could be an example. of one.
What's that, Brad? What was the question?
NAP plus URL on a niche edit.
Yeah, it's more than just NAP and URL, but yes, that is essentially, that's a very similar thing.
Yeah. What kind of push have you seen with these packages? Number one, I guess. Ultimately. That's what we use.
What they're made for.
Yeah.
I use these exact packages that are on SerpSpace. I use for all of my properties.
Yeah.
So
he's got a shit ton, and he's got a shit ton. You sent me the where you cleared the snack pack the other day, didn't you? Wasn't that you, Jordan?
Yeah, I cleared all 3 of them in the city.
Yeah, don't give the competition, or don't give the clients a choice.
Exactly. Collect all the trends.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny because I've had those type of listings up before, and you'll get someone call in, and they go through everything, and then everyone calls multiple people in the snack pack, and then they'll call in again. They're like, "What the shit?" It's the same person.
Did I just talk to you? No.
Yeah. No.
Maybe later we can do a webinar on how to handle that.
Call flow and everything. Yeah.
And there's a good question that SerpSpace is just a website you go to, SerpSpace.net, and you sign up for an account. There's not a membership fee or anything like that, or a monthly fee for being a part of SerpSpace.
That's fine. He's got
SerpSpace is just a community and service place, basically. Yeah. So you get your community, and you can buy services if you need your services.
Can international be done, Jordan? I don't see why not, right?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So gold is 108 line items, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I can't count that high, so I'll
it is.
Yep.
Is it possible to buy a la carte? Buy hybrid only? I'm not sure.
We will be adding hybrid as a product, I think, is what they said to me. I think that's the quote they gave me.
Yeah, these also include Web 2.0s as well as some of the branded properties. I did forget to mention that.
Are you going to talk about getting streamlining, getting GMB locations, getting them verified as a service business?
Yeah, so on SerpSpace, we do sell them. So if you need to get verified GMB listings, they do sell them on SerpSpace.
Yeah, that's where I get mine typically.
Yep.
That I'll just do that and buy a package and let it rip, and then it's just money in, money out.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick turnaround time too. We say about 7 days, but we can usually get them done within a couple of days as long as Google's not doing an update.
And keep in mind, anything I think virtually anything GMB is Jordan and your team, right, Jordan?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got the fucking best guy in the world at GMB personally doing them with his team. So, yeah, and I'm not joking at all. Yeah, he's the best.
Warren, the hybrids, they're not things that are yours. They're other people's sites. You want, especially if you're getting validated, when you get validated stuff, you really want the other entities is what you're looking for. You know what I mean about that validated entities. You've been around NFG for a long time, brother. So yeah, you know what I mean.
So this is a full GMB creation, verification, and ranking solution? ? Yeah, you can get all of that at SerpSpace.
Yeah, the GMB is not included in the package. That is separate, but this is all for the branded properties. So your Citations, Web 2.0s, the silver and gold package.
GMB page.
What's that?
You want to pull up the GMB page so they understand and they see that there's a page that they can order GMB verification.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
And
logo.
I think we saw we had a lot of agency people in here. How do you make money off of PPL if you already have an agency? Mike touched on it earlier.
There's many ways.
Yeah, what I would do is I would go out to him and say, "Hey, look, you're giving me money to do this city, to do this GMB. I can get these others and sell you the leads. Does that sound like something you'd want to do, and then we can use it to strengthen your rankings as well. Because once you have these GMBs, if you attach a site to them, you can link out to them as long as you got them on different IPs, right?
Yep.
So that's,
It also,
go ahead.
It can also be an upsell, or we've saved, Brad and I have saved contracts because they didn't want to wait for SEO. We had a network, and then so if you realize that in the sales call, you can quickly switch and say, well, if you don't look to invest long term in your asset, we can help you build your customer base right now. So if you have an agency, I would suggest really kind of sticking around as we do webinars on SerpSpace, and as the training comes up for like PPL and other things like that, getting some ideas how you can incorporate that into your agency and your sales process.
Yeah, it's a great way to just, if they need a secondary location, just like, hey, I can go get you a secondary location and we'll build this up for you and expand your area. It's huge.
Yeah, I would just say, hey, do you need more calls, or do you have enough? Then yeah, I need more calls. All right, cool. I got this. How many citations per package did it say on there, Jordan? I didn't read it.
Yeah, so the bronze has about 50 branded properties. We break that up into Web 2.0s, citations, all three types. The silver and gold, when you get into these packages, we're going to give you a press release for each of these. We're going to give you Web 2.0 properties. We're going to give you all three types of citations, and then you're going to get 4 hybrid citations on the silver and then 8 on the gold.
Nice.
And let me give you a little tip. There's some stuff that happened with the core update and medic that press releases can really kind of help you with. And so if you've got some higher competition, you're definitely looking for the press to get out there.
Yep. And here's another thing too, especially if it's a new location, I would even jump into the silver right away because you're getting that press release. Press release really, really help give you a jump start in rankings.
Which link are you looking for, Micah?
What if citations are all indexed, i.e. 100% are close, and stay indexed? What extra impact does that have? That's good if they're indexed and stay indexed. Yeah. You always want your links to be indexed. Yext
did they ask about
like 60 max, and some are low quality. Yeah, Yext is, I've seen them help companies, but it's got to be larger companies, and they charge out the ass.
It's also a different product.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But the typical Yext product that's out there that everyone knows about, I'm not impressed. So,
and plus, I don't want to pay monthly for something. You're looking at a minimum of about $750 for their base package a year.
The only thing I want people to pay monthly for is when they're paying me monthly for my SEO agency. So.
And if you're doing lead gen, you're not going to go spend that much money on 10 GMBs with citations. It's not going to be doable.
On the packages, is it one time, or is there any monthly stuff needed to rank?
One time.
Additional links needed. Yeah.
These are one time, but we are adding some stuff in to add. If you need more power and you need to push further, it sounds like they're going to add some subscription stuff in so that more hybrid type citations can be pushed. Which that's exactly what Brad and I do when we need to move further. How much? There's no how much for SerpSpace. SerpSpace is a free marketplace. How much depends on what you need. I just put in chat the SerpSpace.net URL. Can't find the package. Okay, hold on. Let me grab. If you go to and sort the site into local.
Yeah, can you go back to the site real quick, Jordan, if possible?
Yeah.
Local ranking packages, is that where it is?
Yeah. we'll get you all the way in because there's some explanations before the actual packages. So here's the actual URL that goes directly to the packages. And let me pull up that beautiful chat window because it's hiding. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it looks like
it decided to disappear on me.
SerpSpace.net/marketplace/packages. If I could talk tonight.
And then put a / pricing on it, and you're right there.
/ what?
Pricing.
Pricing.
If you just want the packages, you put / pricing. Yeah.
There you go.
And that's what some of the were asking for. So. Yeah, the URL. Look in the chat, Brian, where I sent that. That's where you'll find your pricing.
How do we get access to SerpSpace? You just sign up. Go to SerpSpace.net and sign up for it. And then and we'll be doing webinars on the regular for people that come in and are putting together their ranking packages and things like that. The ones that we know and we trust and that have been vetted and we've used the services, and training will be going into the education center. You'll see that up in the nav, and that'll be continuing to grow. So there's not going to be any charge for the community. The community is just there to make sure everyone these are free
understands what they need to do for their.
Is it available?
Everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Here's the full URL.
Yeah. Jordan, do you work down under?
I work down under.
Available in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we service, or they service Australia. Jordan does.
Yep.
Everything.
Are citations without keyword /geo in the URL worth going after, except for big sites with traffic? I mean, if you can get geo in the keyword geo in the URL, it's always better. But if it's a quality site, then and it's got traffic, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the URL. There's a lot of factors that come into play with Triple T.
Question, real quick. Bought a package, but it doesn't show anywhere in the dashboard. If you look at, are you looking at your product configuration, Warren? Is what I'm being told. Because they're saying it looks like one just came in, and I wanted to say you did it before I even put the bonus out there, dude. So congratulations being the first one. The first 5 that buy packages, we're gonna do extra hybrid citations for. So
do they have to get like a silver or gold, or just any of them?
No, they don't. But silver's gonna get 4, gold's gonna get 8, and we're gonna give some to the smaller package as well. But it'll probably be about 2.
Yeah. If you already have a listing, what can you do? A lot of the listings are done.
We'll look at making it more obvious, Warren. We'll put that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll make that suggestion to them that they put the link in the email for that. Because you're not the first that I've heard say that. So yeah, I'll make that suggestion, and I'm sure they'll take that. Thank you, Warren.
Yeah. Okay, if you already have a listing, what can I do? A lot of listings are done. If you already have a listing, then you just don't need to buy or get a map, so you can just buy the package because it doesn't include a GMB listing. So if you already have the listing, then you're good to go. Just if you want to rank it, go ahead and grab that.
Come in and get pushed.
The hybrids are properties that we will own.
I answered.
Oh, okay,
That's Warren.
You got that one, yeah.
And for everyone else, if they missed it, hybrids, no, they're not properties you own. They're owned by other people. You want it, other businesses that are related or geographically relevant or page-based relevancy and stuff like that.
Can you do the Yelps and Yellow Pages live listings without any sales calls? Jordan, do you know how to get around that?
You're gonna have to filter that out through your own phone system. If you get sales calls from Yelp and Yellow Pages, it's just kind of part of building your brand.
Yeah.
I get about 2,000 calls a day.
Yeah.
So it's just there's not really much that we can do there.
Yeah.
I'm still freaking out about that. So in real life, you can get a location verified outside my physical location. Yes.
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 Jordan is the man.
And you don't have to freak out about it. There's nothing that can damage your actual property. You're not tying it to your brand. Don't do that. You know,
especially PPL.
You're not gonna. Yeah. If you want to do it for a client, then you can tie it to your brand, and just keep both processes in mind.
Does everyone want to see an example of PPL domination, just to get hype people up a little bit?
I don't.
No? Okay.
Just says, yes.
Will there be a replay? That would be up to the SerpSpace gods.
And I believe that will be in the education center.
Yeah. Are they going to post it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let's see how many people can guess which one's mine.
If I had to guess, I'd say all of them, but I don't know. Lafayette Pest Control.
Yeah, that one's mine.
What else?
So is the second one. So is the third one. So
what works?
What's up?
You mean it works? They actually rank stuff?
They actually do work.
I know, but you pick like the easiest niche, pest control, I mean,
but
it's not as hard as screen repair or something, or.
No, and that's why I mean.
I'm just joking.
There's so much opportunity for everybody. I mean, there's over 2,000 or like 4,000 categories that you can choose from to do lead gen. There's over 42,000 markets, zip codes within the United States alone. I mean, it's such a huge market, and you don't even have to start, doing something nationwide. Just start with your local market. I mean, I started everything, and I had to rebuild Salt Lake City again because I just moved here about a year and a half ago. I had everything in Kansas City. So even in Salt Lake, there's only about 2 million people in the entire metro, but there's still a huge amount of call volume that comes through for plumbers, electricians. It can be anything. So I want people to really understand that, like, when you build lead gen, there's a ton of potential to make a lot of money. And I truly mean that. And I'm not going to just blow smoke.
We have a student that came to an event, and after that event, what was his best month after that event so far, Jordan?
It was in the high 30s, I think.
But all he's doing is cranking out GMBs.
And he's only doing GMB. That's it.
Good question. Do you have difference pricing? What if I bought the bronze and wanted to upgrade to the silver or gold later?
So that's something that you need to really look at your market. I mean, you need to plan ahead. Yeah. If you think, let me just give you an example. If we look at plumber.
Well, he's looking for that. You're gonna analyze really closely, get the closest package you can, and then if you need to push harder, you're gonna be looking at whatever the subscription stuff that they come out with, and those are gonna be based around the hybrid citations, and that's what's gonna start to push you even more.
That's what I would do, is more hybrid.
In this city, there's only gonna be about, there's going to be 2 pages here, but I'm still going to pick the silver package because I know that plumbing is extremely, extremely competitive. And we can even, I've been doing this for a long time. I'll find as many relevant directories before I even push into like Yellow Pages or Yelp. And the reason for that is because I'm going to make sure that you're getting ranked. That's all I care about, that you're getting traffic, you're getting calls. So it's something, that's why I tell you really need to pay attention to your market and do your own research. And you really need to, you can reach out to me and say, hey, what do you think? Again, it's going to be kind of your own, your own process, but at the end of the day, I would always aim a little bit higher than you need to.
David makes a really good point, and this is one thing that you always want to do, and I'm going to add a little bit to it. He says if you want to come over GMB lead gen, ask the prospect where they want the calls from. Also ask to look at any past pay-per-click conversion data. And as you do your lead gen, you're going to determine and you're going to see where things convert. If you're doing national lead gen, there's markets we're in where only 13 states make sense to do this in. So as you know your market, you're going to know where to build.
And we learned that from PPC.
Yes, exactly. And that came from PPC is learning the states that we want to be in. So if you're going into a lead generation opportunity, ask them if they have any PPC data and dig through that before you go and buy. And then you're buying smart.
Yep. And I guarantee you, if you're doing lead gen, they should have somewhat of an idea of where they're getting most of their clients. So all plumbers are going to have some type of dispatching, job tracking data. Ask for it. If they say, hey, this area has a high income, I want to generate these type of calls, then at least you have some data to work with, and this is going to be your focus. So when you start finding these partners, I mean, you got to be able to ask these questions, and then you're like, okay, now I know where to put my GMB because this is where it's a high-end area. They did all the legwork for you. So,
Dave is asking, is there any danger of an established brand using their real name, adding 15 or 20 branded service area GMBs throughout their service area? Dave, I would actually be doing this as under a secondary DBA or secondary just brand that I put into the listings, or even name everything as a separate business and make sure that my call flow and my script filters all of this before it gets to the actual brand to protect the brand.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk ruining your client's brand for just because you're sending them calls. It's going to be, these are entities, these are listings that you own. Your client doesn't own these, so that's something to really consider as well.
And if you make it separate, you also have potentially a link network there. So start thinking like that. So not only did you just build 15, 20 you also built 20 sites that are now validated by Google, and now you can go out and build your own hybrid citations, right? So start thinking in multiple angles. If that makes sense.
Any other questions about what we've gone over tonight? SerpSpace, packages.
There's a whole bunch. I think they've doubled their product offerings lately, right, Mike? Or close to it, or they're planning on it, or something. Is that the case? I thought I heard him say it. They're adding a bunch of cool shit, so I would stay tuned to that. But this just makes it easy.
Yeah.
What's that, Mike?
I think he's losing out. Yeah, I know. I know they're adding a lot more different services, especially coming into the beginning of 2019. So definitely want to watch for those.
Do you link those separate GMBs to site.com/service area 1, or do just like a business.google.com?
It kind of depends on what I'm doing, but I like using the business.sites, the free sites that they
they're free.
They give you. I mean, they're free. They don't look too bad.
And hopefully most people just click to call.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're trying to establish a network though, and you want your validated network, then you're going to be using domains. So it really depends on what you're doing and your strategy. I mean, because this is not just you're just making money off of just this. You can be making money off of your network, right? There's ways to do that, and I think there's more ways coming out to do that too. So just it really comes down to what your strategy is in the long term.
And the sites actually don't look that bad. I mean, they're very mobile friendly, and you can add a ton of content here, and they rank really well.
Solomon So this is like ranking and renting, but there is no rent, but payment for leads. Yeah, it's lead generation, exactly. I've never done rank and rent because I just there's not the same kind of money in it, unfortunately. So instead of taking one monthly fee, I would just push it as hard as you can and make as many calls as you can and make more money time over time again than you would on the rent for the site. Anyone else? Let's see.
I know there's got to be more questions.
Yeah, so basically a GMB like Plumber Salt Lake City, not ED's Plumbing Salt. Hold on, not ED's Plumbing Salt Lake City. Matt, what do you mean by that? You mean the title of your listing? And while we're waiting, if you use these fake GMBs, what happens if they get shut down and we had even paid for your citation package? Would we be out the money? If PPL is a risk. If there's a mistake that's made by a service, then that's going to be taken care of, and of course you're going to be reimbursed. But if you get swept, I mean, I've lost 500 listings at a time. JP's lost more at a time. Yeah,
I think I lost a few thousand last.
Yeah, we lost 3,500, I think.
Yeah.
But you know what? That happens very rare. It's usually once a year, and we're already through that. This is the time to build. After a decade of doing this is the time to build right now.
I'll tell you, a lot of the ones that are pretty heavily watched, we don't create those anyways because
we won't let you do that.
Because you're going to have that problem, and we know you're going to have that problem. I'm not going to say something that is going to get thrown down later on.
And just someone asked how we lost all those. I pushed it way too fucking hard, and wasn't careful. So.
And those 500 I was talking about were done because somebody decided to do a damn webinar on an industry that they didn't even work in, and then someone else decided to release a YouTube video on people making GMBs in that market. Somebody that Jordan and I used to work with that screwed us over in the past too. So usually it's bad luck is what it is, and that happens sometimes, but most of the time it doesn't. And I'll tell you, the revenue, it's there before you lose it. So.
And those of you that are already in our course, we teach you how to get those protected as well. And that's something that's really important, is you want to very much protect your assets and your ass.
And there is I think you have a slide, SerpSpace is, I think, linking over to your training, Jordan. And if you're looking to get deeper training on some of the stuff and the testing that's going on monthly, for local, not just GMB verification, but local ranking, because they literally start to update every weekend, and they've been updating every weekend for a while now. So if you're interested, that's what I would go do, is follow Jordan over there personally.
We got a couple more minutes, guys. So ask your questions. That's what we're here for.
We're staying overtime for you because people. Let's see.
This will be my gateway to PPL. Just bought. That's awesome.
Good job.
It's going to be like a drug, though. I'm warning you. It's a little bit addictive. To the PPL bug is so.
It's a little addicting.
With caution. Yeah, it is. You can make money though.
It's fun though.
Can you put that link in the chat?
It's in there.
Yeah, I think Mike put it in there.
Oh, for the training? For Jordan's training?
Yeah, which link, I guess?
GMB, it's gmbmasteracademy.com/SerpSpace.
And that is there's people asking for learning about PPL. That is where training on PPL lives.
Like in-depth training. We'll have training on here, of course. A lot given away for free. But if you want like the up to the minute bleeding edge type stuff, that's what Jordan does over at GMB Master Academy.
And we've got a lot of cool people that are going to be coming on to serve. I would pay attention to those emails because there's a lot of people that I respect quite a bit and follow and, you know, take their advice, and it works for me, and which means it should work for you too. So I would pay attention to what people are coming on and what products are coming out.
Yeah, I'm an idiot and it works for me, so it's got to work for people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. What kind of overhead / structure do you need for PPL? I mean, just about the only overhead that you need is if you're buying everything from a provider like SerpSpace. That would be, but that's a variable cost, right? So the only other overhead would be your call tracking numbers, which you don't have to strongly suggest it. But if you're using that, you're basically getting charged per minute. And it means you're making money at that point. So it's kind of it's another variable cost. So it's all variable, not a lot of fixed. Hope that answers. Is the business site addresses only available for GMBs, or is there a direct sign up? That's all I use them for ever. So
that's all they don't offer them anywhere else, I don't believe.
No, it's only in the GMB dashboard.
Yeah, you have to create a listing to get a business.site.
Someone's asking about the excluded categories. Are you just shit out of luck for those, Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to mess with them because they're heavily watched.
Yeah, we're not going to let you go in there and lose money. We're not going to let you hit an industry that is a highly watched industry that's going to be over 50%. The fact that you might lose. At what level of call volume do you need a call center? I've used call centers at even as low as probably freaking 5 calls a day, depending on what kind of campaign it is.
Yeah. Do you prefer selling leads to local companies or through national affiliate programs? I always start with the national affiliate programs just to test the market, and then move on to local companies if I've got some call volume.
That's when you're going to kick in with the call tracking after you've tested something with that. You're going to want to find somebody that can broker everything that you have, and just you can pass directly through. But if you're passing directly through, you want to make sure you're recording everything as well.
And start locally, guys. You don't need to go nationwide right away. I mean, you can, but start within your local area. For things that I have always honed in on is networking. And I can't stress that enough. Get to know your local plumber. Say, hey, I'm getting, 5 calls a day in this area. How about we do a test? I'll send some calls over to you, or something along those lines. I mean, it's super easy to dominate your local area, and that's something that I've always done for the last 11 years.
Where do you get a call center? Basically have to set one up. I think there are services out there. But
yeah, there are, and we've got stuff in states and out of state, but that's you're talking when you get far enough.
Yeah, but yeah, I would worry about that when you get there.
Because you're going to be able to use the services like CallRail out there for a lot of volume, and the call flow that you can set up is amazing. You can really do some amazing stuff with call flow on CallRail. So it's going to be a long time before you actually have to have a call center.
Would you avoid the plumbing niche? I'm not in it.
I do.
It can be a pain in the ass, and they seem to target the plumbing before any other home services.
It's not profitable. That's been a couple of years.
Yeah, and not only that, they're getting pretty strict with licensing and advertising. I wouldn't even touch it. You don't want to go down a road with legal. It's just
how
not
about
worth it.
roofing? Roofing's a little bit easier. Yeah, you could do roofing probably.
That's when Jordan gets his teeth fixed.
That's right.
That's when he's going to do roofing?
Yeah, no, that's what roofing is.
Oh, yeah.
Alvin, dude, I really love what you just said, man, and you're getting it 100%. Even if it's your client and you're working in an agency, Alvin says, I like how this is our own asset instead of the client's. And that's exactly how you need to start thinking and protecting yourself, because you've got to feed your family, yourself, if you don't have a family. So you absolutely should be thinking about it. And that's why I said, if you're going to build some GMBs, maybe invest in some domains and build some sites with that too, you can use some software. You end up doing just, start building yourself your own little empire that whether or not that client walks away, you can go to the next person, or you can just actually, Jordan starts his own companies, and he's got his own brick and mortars if he needs to.
So this was actually one that was sold before I moved out of Kansas City, Discount Locksmith. I've been in the locksmith industry for 9 years now, so I've always been into something that's tangible and a business that I own. And coming into 2019, that's going to be my main goal, is building small businesses in Salt Lake City so that I can hire my own people and have my own asset. That's my entire goal for next year.
Yeah, we have a student that took that route too and just destroyed it. And I think he's probably got $5 or $6 million plus businesses now, brick and mortar, just using the same tactics online.
A lot of us here, I assume, do SEO, and I guess my biggest challenge for all of you is take a stride out of doing client SEO if that's what you do, and use your skills to build a business for yourself. I think in our industry, a lot of people lose that, and it baffles me that with as much talent as in our industry, that people don't take a dive and actually start their own business. I'm talking about starting an actual business. And
I'm going to start a certain kind of company pretty soon, right, Mike? Because
yes,
I don't like the national call center that we're sending it to, the affiliate program. So I said, screw it, we're gonna start our own. It's not locksmithing, so don't worry, Jordan.
And always remember your skill set. It's one of the most important skill sets out there on the internet. Someone comes to you and says, "Hey, let's do this, and how about you generate some leads and send them my way, and I'll sell them." Get their skin in the game before you go out and you start building a bunch of these GMBs, buying these GMBs, and ranking these GMBs, because they need to make sure that they show you that they're serious. Because a lot of the times, I've seen it so many times. Yeah, we'll do this, and then they can't sell a damn thing. And now you're stuck with an asset and no broker. Have you ever seen a drop dip in leads be lost to the new Google services, PPL? Of course.
Yeah,
they're trying to make as much money as they can.
That's why you build.
That's why you do GMB, because you can get around that. I like how, okay, that one already went. So if it's your business, do you build other GMBs as brand of Northwest and another brand to the Southwest, or do you still do random name and just forward numbers?
I do both. I build a brand and I build supporting GMBs.
I use scripts for filtering brand names and things like that in my call flow personally.
Yep. Yeah, it just depends on what your call flow is too, like Mike said.
Yeah, exactly. And it really depends on the text answering the phone and the phone text. If the phone text can handle, it's not really that hard for us. We know if they come in and they say a different business name, that we're going to switch them up and start them thinking the right way. But if they're not the greatest call tech or whatever, they're going to have issues with it, So you're going to want to filter that beforehand and mention the real brand a couple times before you hand it off to the actual salesperson through a warm transfer.
Yeah. Not trying to be a naysayer, but I'm curious how many calls a city of 24K like Lafayette gets per month in pest control.
think the population's about, so it's 24K. It's hard to say, because some of those listings get targeted from like a couple of neighboring cities, like one of the towns that I actually grew up in. So I mean, I'd have to run some call reports.
Yeah,
I just send the calls.
I don't care how much one particular city generates.
Yeah, it's not about one
day. I care about how many calls I got that day total.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. That's actually a good point because you really want to break it up by area. So I can just go to.
You're gonna get all your listings banned.
I don't care. I'll put up new ones tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
They have a hole in there, and they could be coming after you.
So if we look at, this is actually the county that I grew up in. This is Contra Costa County. So there's like 15 cities within the county. So this is also something you want to consider. Is after you start sending stuff to like an affiliate offer, and you find a direct partner, you're going to probably want to find a local partner in this area. You're not going to want to find someone over here because they're probably not going to want to drive all the way over here. It takes like 45 minutes. So that's another thing about placement. Like if someone services this area, don't have listings in this area, sending calls to another area that's too far. So, but that's something you have to go over with your partners.
Jordan, do you do? We've had a few questions about electrical niche. Do we do that, or do you do that, or whatever?
I dabble in it a little bit. It's actually it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's what they were asking. So,
I think I have about 15 right now for electricians.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where can I find a broker? I suck at sales. I would get better at sales, to be honest. I sucked at sales.
I would say.
Hard on it.
Yeah, we teach you that in the academy, how to reach out and prospect.
It's not the easiest thing in the world, and it's definitely networking based.
Yep.
And also, SerpSpace, Tony and Roman, the guys that founded it, were telling me that they were going to start putting together some offers that they know are proven at offering the people that are our customers and stuff. So I think that's a plan of theirs to start doing over there.
Services go. That's what you're saying?
As far as like lead gen, like opportunities.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so like private offers. I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly. So that people are having people that don't can get away from
that. Like the worst part about PPL is getting an offer that's shit, or they don't pay out, or they've got a shitty IVR or whatever. That's the most frustrating part about PPL, and that's honestly why I left a few years ago. And I didn't get back into it until I found a solid private offer. And it sounds like the guys at SerpSpace are going to set up some private offers for the people that
what's really cool, actually, I was talking to them yesterday, and that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do the webinar, is that they're looking to actually set stuff up, and then even multiple, not even just lead generation, some other ways that people can make money directly off of the products that they're using from SerpSpace. Even SerpSpace buying stuff directly back from people that are using the products too. So it essentially creates a community that's helping each other and monetize every asset that they build, basically.
So what are you doing about GMB verification? I think it's magic is what Jordan uses.
It is a couple of tips of the heels, and
he's got his ruby red slippers on, wearing that plaid dress. Whew.
That's right.
Those braids. Let's see. Calls, leads are a hell of a lot easier to sell than SEO. Yeah, it can be, for sure.
Can be.
Some people are just too stupid
easy,
though, you know?
Keep it as easy as, it's KISS. It really is. I mean, keep it as simple as you can. Brad and I really try to keep it as simple as we can, because we don't really have a brain between us.
Yeah, I can't understand much past simple. So
I'm going to give you guys one tip. This is going to be my top tip of prospecting.
You've already given so many tips, Jordan.
Always. Do not
handing them
go.
out.
We've had an hour and a half of just the tip, Jordan.
I know. Don't ever go after large businesses. Go after the small guys, like Mike or like Brad.
Yeah. Don't go after Mike. Go after Brad.
Yeah.
Go after me. Mike
So
likes
one thing that I use is Craigslist, and you can actually find like people that advertise their services on here. These are all, most of them are local, like mom and pop shops, or usually just one-man shows. These are perfect prospects for you because they're doing some free advertising, so they don't mind paying per call or maybe per job as opposed to paying, $2,000 for an SEO project. So I would start with Craigslist first. You can usually find some pretty good people to work with, and they're very, very appreciative of what you do, opposed to going after Joe's plumber who has 45 work trucks. They're not going to work with you.
98.
So that's my pro tip for the night.
Oh, was it really? Right on.
And Rob says, I guess I have to review the first few minutes of the beginning of the webinar that covered GMB location placement. Yeah, I think they're going to post the replay tomorrow. So,
if you guys have any questions instead of tips coming out, do you have any direct questions if you are trying to get into this, and if you are looking to go get some GMB stuff or just rank some clients with GMBs with the packages? Just use this time, shoot out those questions.
Yeah, because we're going to wrap it up like in 2 minutes. What is the discount code again? What is the discount code again? Hey, Jordan, what's the discount code again?
Okay, so basically,
Local Pack 10.
What we are doing is we're giving free hybrid.
Local Pack 10.
Yeah. We'll put it in the chat, and it's right there on the slide. And we will be giving away some extra hybrid citations. So I would go for it to now. We're going to do that for the first 5.
Oh, first 5 already came in.
Yeah. Oh, they are done. Okay. So the hybrids are done, but the coupon's still going. We'll just up it. We'll do the first. Anybody tonight, we'll go ahead and do the extra hybrid citations.
So by midnight Eastern. Is that where we cut it off?
Midnight Pacific.
Specific.
We'll give them a little time.
Specific.
Midnight specific.
Pacific. And Jordan, did you have something for him too?
No.
I do. The first 5 people are going to receive a free listing.
Well, congratulations.
We're going to say that after 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, I'll even do an additional 3 since there's already been 5 that came in. So
yeah, I would say after
the next that buy a silver or gold package, you'll get a free GMB.
Mm-hmm.
And is someone going to get an email or send out an email so they know if they're in the first 5 or 8?
Yeah, we'll let them know if they're one of them. Warren, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you mean? How do these packages correlate with rankings in the snack pack because they rank you in the snack pack?
Yeah, this is Jordan's process for ranking.
That's the
yeah.
We're not
fulfills it with his team. Yeah, it is snack pack rankings. Any other questions?
Any final questions?
So gold will rank almost anywhere? Question mark. Jordan?
Gold will rank most anywhere.
Yeah, is that true, false? Kinda depends.
Yeah, as long as
if you're in one of the top tier local ones, you're going to want to come and go with one of the probably subscription packages they come out with, and keep pushing local hybrid citations at it, just because. And also, you have to remember the slide that Jordan put out there that really put it in front of your face that you need to be using the actual GMB too. So the packages are taking care of everything you need to off page, but you still have to take care of your listings there.
Fill it out. Yeah.
So there's three major parts in ranking. So the L and links, this is for your brand. So you still need to make sure that we're adding some of the other components. That's why I put the big C right here. It stands for content. So make sure you fill out your GMBs 100%.
Don't just put the title in there and expect a rank. You know, they really want you using their features that they've spent money, millions developing. They don't spend money just because they want to sit there and spend money. They want to make money. So the reason they put those in there is because they want you using them. And if you understand one thing tonight, understand that Google's a business and they want to make money. So everything they do is motivated by money. So if they develop something, you better damn well be doing it because there's a reason they developed it.
Anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
If you live in a big metro area, would you go after suburbs instead?
It's a great question. I would probably pick the suburbs and the residential areas, depending on the market, depending on the niche.
I want it all.
But I would prefer everything.
Should we keep the Google site published or unpublished, even though we have our own site? I'd publish it.
I would publish it. You just got to be careful that Google isn't trying to be sneaky and sneaking their free product in there. So you want to check your GMB.
Right. They will do that. So be careful. And that's a hint that you could look at that and find a pro tip in there, by the way. So if it's your business, do you build other GMBs as a brand? I think we went over that one.
Yeah, we did.
Let's see. Why did my scroll back up? I think it's Jordan's fault.
I think it got posted again.
I gotcha. If you glow in the dark, you get a free GMB. If you really do, I'll give you I'll pay for your GMB. It's not really a bonus, but if you glow in the dark, send me a video.
When buying it says we must configure. What do we need to have done?
It should all be right there that you fill out, I believe. Are you not seeing what you need to put in there? Because I can let them know that they need to talk to their developers tonight and fix a form if there's an issue.
So 5 of fake business, 5 of business in Southwest. I think he's asking if he has an actual business and he's building more, should he have fake businesses elsewhere? Or the not so real GMBs?
Anywhere you can make money.
Yeah. I would just I would probably not have them associated with my primary brand most of the time.
Depends how deep you want to go.
Yeah. How do you determine pricing?
And Jordan goes deep.
How do we determine pricing?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's for clients or what, or leads.
I would say jump into the academy. We teach you that.
Yeah. So for both of the, I already did that one. Would you put the hidden address in the center of a residential neighborhood or in a commercial area?
If you want to sell stuff, if you want to sell things and really understand costs.
Mike's breaking up. If you really want to understand the full process and understanding costs, you'll want to sign up to our course.
This isn't a pre-recorded.
And would you hide your address? I wouldn't. I don't like. I mean, you should be hiding.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Mike.
Concerned about showing the address in the site.
I'm not talking, dude.
Having the address in a residence. If it's not your residence, I wouldn't worry about it. But
yeah, it's gonna be typically if it's residential, you're gonna have to hide your address.
Hey Jordan.
Yeah.
Did you answer the question about the hidden address?
He did. Yeah.
Yes.
There is one field with no label, contact name, and the address 2-field suite number is required. Is what Warren said.
If you don't have a suite number, just put something like NA for now until we get that fixed.
I think he's talking about in the form that he's trying to configure.
Why does Mike?
Okay, Warren, I'll look up.
Because he's in a hotel lobby in Toronto.
The hotel.
Yeah. What was the promo code again? Bring that bad boy back up real quick.
Brad's a really pretty girl.
Yeah. There it is.
Local pack 10.
By pricing, I mean how much do you charge for the calls? Yeah, that's something we go into in depth in GMB Master Academy. How do you answer the objection? How are you getting these leads? They're pushing to have you reveal your website URLs. I mean, I don't care if I show them or not, but I say we have properties, web properties that we own that we use to generate calls. It's just like you've got your website, we've got our website times 100, and that's how we generate them. Well, can I see a sample? Yeah, sure. Show them. Have a dummy site to show them. It doesn't matter. I've done that to get into affiliate networks. So that's how
you got your sites plus the GMBs.
Yeah.
And the GMBs make your sites stronger. So if you understand entities and validation, you'll understand why your site will rank much faster with the GMB, even organically.
Yeah. So any other questions? I think we're going to cut this. We've been going a while. My drinks.
We're going to give you a couple more minutes to get them in. I'm almost out of my drink.
I don't even know if we got a couple minutes, dude. Oh, wait, there's some more. Hey. I see some GMB listings with no phone number. No phone number. How do they do that? I don't know. You're
I have no
if you
idea.
don't put a phone number in, to be honest. So, in the academy, do you teach a bulletproof way to create GMBs? We don't. We just get them from SerpSpace, or Jordan creates his, but we don't teach that in GMB Master Academy because it's easier to buy them, to be honest.
It really is. I'd rather spend.
Honestly, 100%. Like, I buy them.
Bulk deals are great.
Still spots for the free GMB. Will you give any advice on the niche area for the free GMB? I'm not sure about the orders, but
I don't know. I'm not sure. Is there still spots for the free GMB? Do you know? Yeah, I don't think there is anymore. I think those are all taken.
It's filled up. Okay.
I think that's all we got.
All right, everyone. Thank you for coming on tonight.
It's been a pleasure.
Any last words, Mike?
Yeah, just watch for more webinars coming out of SerpSpace. I really would, if you want to learn super detailed aspects and watch the testing that Jordan's doing, I'd check out his training. That's going to be, honestly, I think he's giving it away way too cheap. Just jump on over there to that GMB Master Academy and SerpSpace and jump in there. Brad and I, really, this is what we're doing, and we're in some of the hardest niches there are out there, and it's doing very well. So beyond our agency, this always has been my favorite way to generate revenue. It's fun and it's lucrative as hell. Brad, you got anything to follow up and end up with?
No, just thanks everyone. Make some fucking money. Systemize it. This is how you systemize it. You shorten the amount of time it takes to do shit, and you get more done in your day. You compress time. So use it.
Get it done. 2019.
Absolutely.
Peace, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Everyone have a great night.